the gym at the time that Bob and Michelle Duggar are celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary. Their 19 children have left them out of the festivities. It is in the midst of the children's ongoing disconnection from their parents that they remain silent. A celebration was held on July 21 to commemorate the 40th wedding anniversary of Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar. There was not a single one of their 19 children who paid credit to their parents' achievement as they celebrated the beginning of a new decade together. During the time that they were sharing their comments on a subthread on Reddit, fans saw that the Duggar youngsters remained silent. "I believe that they have all forgotten," a member on Reddit stated. "I'm surprised there were no posts if for no other reason than they all seem to be doing JB's bidding," said to another individual. A third individual made a joke that said, "A dark day for humanity. Exactly 40 years ago, two people made the biggest mistake of all of our lives. Let's hear it for Ma and Pa," wrote another user in a satirical caption, making light of the family's silence. Let's hear it for Ma and Pa. In spite of the fact that the Duggar family has been able to capture their tight connection on their TLC series, 19 Kids and Counting On, a few of their children have broken up with their parents. Since a considerable amount of time, their daughter Jill and her husband Derek have been separated from the rest of the family. On several occasions, Jill has expressed her dissatisfaction with the situation. In the year 2020, Jill disclosed to people the stringent regulations that were imposed on her and her siblings. "Our control to choose what jobs we were allowed to accept and even where we were allowed to live was taken away from us," she said in her statement. The Sun was informed by Derek that Jim Bob had previously barred them from entering their residence. In an exclusive interview with The Sun, Derek stated, "I believe that he is primarily concerned about the influence that we might have on his children. In spite of the fact that Jill and Derek made the decision to keep their distance from the traditional family, they were able to attend Christmas with Jill's parents the previous year." Jill stated in an interview with Vanity Fair in the year 2023 that they made the decision to have limited contact with Jim Bob. "The amount of time I spend with my father is little. Just for the sake of our own health and well-being, we have been forced to establish some pretty stringent boundaries," Jill explained to the source. During the month of April, Jill's parents were there to support her following the devastating loss of her baby, which occurred while she was 4 months pregnant. In addition to Jill, their daughter Jinger has publicly said that she has deviated from the stringent limitations that her parents have imposed on her. In 2022, Jinger released a book titled The Hope We Hold, in which she revealed her choice to defy the teachings of the Institute of Basic Life Principles, IBLP, which was the main church of the Duggar family. Becoming Free Indeed, My Story of Disentangling Faith from Fear was the title of Jinger's second memoir, which was published in 2023. In this book, she discussed her choice to quit the religion. "I realized that some of what I had been taught was hurtful and untrue," she stated in her letter. "I knew I needed to speak publicly about this because I promoted teachings that I now believe are damaging." Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar snubbed by their 19 children on milestone 40th wedding anniversary as family rift continues. The Duggar family, once known for their close-knit bonds and seemingly unshakable faith, has faced growing fractures in recent years. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, who rose to fame through the reality TV series 19 Kids and Counting, celebrated a major milestone this year, their 40th wedding anniversary. However, instead of being surrounded by their 19 children and an army of grandchildren, the couple found themselves in a conspicuous absence of family. The rift that has been brewing in the Duggar household for years seems to have widened, leaving Jim, Bob, and Michelle to mark their special day without the full support of their once unified family. A family torn apart. The Duggar family has long projected an image of unity, faith, and unwavering loyalty to one another. From the early days of their reality show, the family showcased a lifestyle deeply rooted in their conservative Christian beliefs, with a strict adherence to modesty, courtship rules, and traditional family values. But as the children have grown into adults with families of their own, many have begun to distance themselves from the strict teachings of their parents, creating an undeniable divide. In recent years, several of the Duggar children have made headlines for breaking away from the values they were raised with. Most notably, Jill Duggar Dillard has been outspoken about her strained relationship with her parents. Her memoir, Counting the Cost, detailed her emotional struggles and the control Jim, Bob, and Michelle exercised over their lives. In her book, Jill revealed that she and her husband, Derek, had taken legal action to receive compensation for their time on 19 Kids and Counting, which they were reportedly denied. Their ongoing feud has been well documented, leaving fans questioning the state of the Duggar family dynamics. Jill's departure from the family fold isn't an isolated incident. Joy Anna Duggar Forsyth has also been the subject of speculation, with fans noticing that she too has begun to live a more independent life, often ignoring some of the strict guidelines set by her father. Other siblings, such as Jinger Vuolo, have similarly embraced lifestyles that deviate from the ultra-conservative expectations of their upbringing. As Jim, Bob, and Michelle's 40th wedding anniversary approached, many fans anticipated a lavish family celebration that would see the entire clan come together in recognition of their parents' enduring marriage. However, as the day came and went, the silence from their 19 children was deafening. The anniversary snub. For most couples, a 40th wedding anniversary is a significant event, especially for a family-oriented couple like Jim, Bob, and Michelle, who have consistently preached the importance of togetherness and faith. In a family as large as the Duggars, such a milestone would typically be marked with a massive gathering of children, grandchildren, and extended family, with heartfelt tributes, family photos, and celebratory posts flooding social media. But when Jim, Bob, and Michelle reached their 40th anniversary, their children were noticeably quiet. No grand family photos surfaced. No public statements of love and admiration from their children filled social media feeds, and no big celebration was broadcasted to the family's millions of followers. Fans quickly noticed the silence and began to speculate on the status of the family rift. While some of the Duggar children have remained close to their parents, others, particularly Jill, Jinger, and Joyanna, have clearly taken steps to distance themselves. The lack of public acknowledgement from the majority of the siblings only fueled the rumors that the family divide was deeper than ever. The fallout, Josh Duggar's scandal and its impact. The fractures within the Duggar family can largely be traced back to one major event, the scandal involving Josh Duggar. In 2015, it was revealed that Josh had been accused of molesting several of his younger sisters when he was a teenager. The revelation sent shockwaves through the Duggar world and led to the cancellation of 19 Kids and Counting. In the years since, the family has struggled to rebuild their reputation, but the damage to their once squeaky clean image was done. In 2021, Josh was convicted of possessing child sexual abuse material and sentenced to over 12 years in federal prison. The trial, conviction, and aftermath further splintered the Duggar family. Jim, Bob, and Michelle publicly supported their son throughout the trial, but several of their children, including Jill and Jinger, distanced themselves, issuing public statements condemning his actions and focusing on their own healing. Jill, in particular, has spoken out about how the scandal and her parents' handling of it affected her relationship with them. She revealed in interviews and in her book that the family's emphasis on protecting Josh over the victims created a deep emotional wound, one that has not healed. The tension surrounding Josh's actions and the family's response is believed to be a significant factor in the ongoing divide. Jim, Bob, and Michelle's continued defense of Josh has caused ongoing tension with many of their children, and it's likely a key reason why their milestone anniversary went largely uncelebrated by the family. The Duggar kids' lives today. As the Duggar children have grown up, many have started families of their own, and their lives have taken vastly different paths from the ones their parents envisioned for them. Jill Duggar Dillard is perhaps the most vocal about her break from the Duggar family. She and her husband, Derek, have shared their journey of stepping away from the family's control, embracing a more modern lifestyle that includes public schooling for their children, social media presence outside of family approval, and more relaxed views on faith and modesty. Their decision to leave the family's reality show and Jill's candid interviews about the strain on her relationship with her parents have only widened the gap. Singer Duggar Vuolo has also distanced herself from her parents' strict rules. She and her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, moved to Los Angeles, where they live a more mainstream lifestyle. Singer's fashion choices, use of social media, and public statements about her evolving faith have signaled a clear break from the strict rules she grew up with. In her book, The Hope We Hold, she hinted at the challenges of growing up under her parents' rules and the freedom she has found since moving away. Joy Anna Duggar Forsyth has remained relatively quiet compared to her sisters, but fans have noticed her own subtle rebellion against her upbringing. Joanna has been seen wearing pants, something the Duggar daughters were not allowed to do growing up, and her social media posts often depict a more relaxed, modern family life. Jessa Duggar Seawald and Jana Duggar, on the other hand, have remained more aligned with their parents' beliefs, though even they have faced speculation about internal family conflicts. Jessa, who is raising her children with her husband Ben Seawald, has maintained a close relationship with Jim, Bob, and Michelle, but there have been rumors of disagreements behind the scenes. Jana, the eldest Duggar daughter, has stayed at home, helping care for her younger siblings, though fans have long speculated about her desire for independence. A growing divide. The quiet nature of Jim, Bob, and Michelle's 40th wedding anniversary highlights the growing divide between the parents and many of their children. While some siblings remain close to their parents, others have chosen to live lives that break away from the rules and expectations that were once so central to the Duggar identity. The family's differences are not just about lifestyle choices but reflect deeper emotional and spiritual divides. As more of the Duggar children embrace freedom and independence, the family's once unified front is showing more and more cracks. Jim, Bob, and Michelle, who built their lives around their large, tight-knit family, may now be facing the reality that many of their children no longer share their vision for life. As their 40th wedding anniversary passes without a grand celebration, it's clear that the family rift is far from healed. What's next for the Duggars? The Duggar family's future remains uncertain. With the older children continuing to forge their own paths, it's unclear whether the family will ever return to the unified image they once projected. The public snub on Jim, Bob, and Michelle's anniversary may be just one of many signs that the Duggars as a collective are moving in different directions. For Jim, Bob, and Michelle, their 40th wedding anniversary might not have been the grand family affair they hoped for, but it also might serve as a turning point. As they navigate their relationships with their children in this new chapter of life, the once unbreakable Duggar family bond seems to be evolving into something far more complicated. Whether the family can heal its divisions, or if this milestone marks a further splintering of relationships, is yet to be seen. What's clear, though, is that the days of the Duggars presenting a picture-perfect family are long gone. As more of the children publicly step away from their parents' strict guidelines, Jim, Bob, and Michelle may have to come to terms with a future where family unity looks very different from the one they envisioned 40 years ago.